voice is audible or not?
Yes, sir, we are hearing.
Audible.
Yes, yes, audible.
Screen visible or not?
Visible.
Not visible.
Visible, sir.
Visible, sir.
What? Here is some problem. Are the slides visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My voice is audible.
Yes, sir, your voice is audible.
Okay. Okay. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir.
How can I make the slide visible to you? Because it is not visible at my end. Please help.
Now not visible, sir. Please once sharing again. Now visible, sir.
Visible,
Yes, sir.
but it is not visible at my end.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Hello?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Good evening. Now we will discuss about preschool education. Okay. Principles of childhood education, in which we will discuss preschool education. Education imparted to children in 2 to 6 years age group. It is the first stage of organized education. Preschool education is also known as pre-primary education, nursery education, daycare education. Now, objectives of preschool education. What are the objectives of preschool education? So, the first is to prepare children for primary school. The slide is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes.
To enable children to develop motor skills, to help children develop social and emotional skills, to help children develop language skills, to enhance creativity, to enhance aesthetic sense, to encourage child's independence, to encourage child's curiosity. So these are the objectives of preschool education. So the preschool, the most common preschools are nursery and kindergarten. First, the nursery schools. Mrs. Margaret Macmillan was the founder of nursery system of education, or we can say that the founder of the nursery system of education. The nursery school focuses on sense training. The main emphasis on sense training, it aims to develop good behavior and conduct of its students. Nursery schools provide medical care, healthy food, and healthy environment for physical and character development. For physical development, so many activities can be organized. Now, characteristics of the nursery schools. First is children admitted to the nursery schools are between the age of 2 to 6 years. It means from 2 years to 6 years, The second is they may choose the desired nursery program scheduled for the year. Next characteristics is the curriculum differs for different nursery program chosen by the student. It means there is a flexibility in curriculum. The curriculum should be according to the needs and the interest of the students. It means there is a flexibility in curriculum. Next, the children encounter a mixture of curricular and social experiences. Next one is curricular experiences include language development, science and environment skills, music and art. So these are the characteristics of the nursery schools. Next is social experiences include play activities. A children normally has to attend the school for about 2 to 4 hours per day for 2 to 3 or 5 days per week. So we can say that there is a flexibility in timing. The second is kindergarten. The first kindergarten school was established in Germany by Friedrich Froebel in 1837. Kindergarten is a German word which implies a children's garden. It means the kindergarten means children's garden. The Froebel conceived the school as garden, the teacher as a gardener, and students as tender plants. Just like a gardener, a teacher should take care of the child and help him or her to grow. He believed that the process of growth and development of the plant and the child the same. Global system of education is called the playway method. It means at this level the main emphasis on playway method through different types of activities. Now characteristics of kindergarten. The curriculum of kindergarten involves a variety of activities. The second is the program works to reinforce children's social, emotional and physical skills. Next is different projects are done by kindergarten children through exploration and observation. These projects help the child to develop their literacy, numerical, speaking and communication skills. All these activities contribute to the overall development of a child, or we can say that all-round development of the child. For example, physical, mental, spiritual. Now, expected outcomes of preschool. Outcomes of nursery schools. Size and measurement, numbers, shapes, colors, phonics, communications, creative skills, motor development, and social development. First is size and measurement. The student can understand size and measurement by the use of shapes, objects, and printed materials. The student can distinguish size of noble difference and differentiate between small and big, long and short. The second is numbers. The students can understand tens and units. They can account to 20. They can understand patterns in sequence, written numbers, and also identify the number. Next is shapes. The student is able to identify and draw shapes like squares, rectangles, circles, and triangles. They should also be able to match shapes in activities. Next is color. The student can understand name and identify all primary colors. Next is communication. The students are able to communicate well with others by expressing himself verbally. They also acquire the skills to communicate their thoughts, feelings, and emotions by using the right words. Next is creative skills. The students' creative skills are developed through simple art and craft work. It can also be increased by motivating them to tell stories by looking at pictures or to complete a story after hearing the introduction. Next is motor development. The students are able to identify the sense of touch, including texture and temperature. They can participate in active play and sports such as walking, running, skipping, jumping, and basic team sport. They are also be able to build structures with building blocks, draw simple pictures, trace pictures well, complete puzzles, etc. So these are the motor development. Next is listening. The students are able to listen to stories. The students are able to distinguish various sounds in daily life through repetitive exercises. This exercise is also important for language development. Next is social development. The students are able to converse with others and understand the importance of discussing issues. Next, outcomes of kindergarten. Language. The students are able to identify letters, pronounce letters properly, write simple words, told short stories, able to count, able to remember sentences. Next is self and society, pay due respect to their elders, teachers, parents, take up responsibilities at home and schools, get knowledge about culture and customs. Next is science, able to identify different categories of animals, understand the ways of taking care of the pet and farm animals, aware of climate and the changes, learn to take measurement like weight, height, length, etc. So next is current affairs. Students are able to discuss the current news of community. So these are the outcomes of kindergarten at pre-primary schools level. Now the objectives of preschool education in India. To develop in the child good physique, adequate muscular coordination and basic motor skills. Next is to develop in the child good health habits and to build up basic skill necessary for personal adjustment. Next is to develop social attitude and manners to encourage healthy group participation and making the child sensitive to the rights and the privileges of being a member of a social group. Next is to develop emotional maturity and making a child control his feelings and emotions. Next is to encourage aesthetic appreciation in the child, to, to stimulate in the child the beginning of intellectual curiosity and to help him understand the world in which he lives. Next is to encourage the child's independence and curiosity by providing him with opportunities. Next is to develop in the child the ability to express his thoughts and feelings in fluent, correct, and clear speech. All these qualities remain lifelong with him. So these are the objectives of preschool education in India. Next is preschool programs. The program at preschool level is activity based. At this level, the different activities organized. It should consist of the following types of activities. The first is play activities. In play activities, there are some different activities like physical activities. Next is simple exercise, dance and rhythmic playground activities with their apparatus. Next is language learning, health and hygiene, nature study, counting and arithmetic, free play, indoor games and outdoor game activities. Next is manual activities and play like gardening, simple chores. So these are the different type of activities at pre-primary school level. Next is organization of classes at pre-primary school level. A class should not consist of more than 20 students. Next is pre-primary schools may work into sessions of 3 hours each per day as per need of the children. It means the flexibility in timing. Next is the children should be divided into 2 batches, each batch attending one session, but the size of the class should be small. The class should not consist of more than 20 students. It means the size of the class should be small. The timing of the classes may be kept flexible according to the local conditions and the geographical conditions. Next is facilities required for children in the preschool. Some facilities required for children in the preschools are: the furniture should be simple, durable and comfortable. Next is the school buildings should be spacious, airy, well ventilated and well lighted. Next is the whiteboard should be within the reach of children. The school should have apparatus such as colored beads and toys to help a child learn things quickly. There should be a small garden in the school to keep children in contact with the nature. Being in contact with nature helps children to learn valuable lessons from Mother Earth, and some different activities can be organized in the garden. Next is health care and nutrition. The growth of preschool child is slower than that of an infant. In this stage of life, a child will grow about 6 centimeter in height and gain 2 to 3 kg weight each year. But some exceptional cases there. In this stage, a child should be taught about good eating habits and proper balanced diet. Such learning would help in physical well-being of child. The child should be given a balanced diet. As we know, a diet having appropriate amount of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals called a balanced diet. Now, types of preschools in India. The first is daycare centers. The second is play schools. Third is Anganwadis. Fourth is nursery schools. Next is kindergarten. And sixth is Montessori schools. Now, daycare centers. Daycare centers admit children of age between 1 to 3 years. The activities of the daycare include singing, dancing, craft, painting, puppet shows. It means the main emphasis on different types of activities at this level. Second is play school. Play school is a place where the child will play, learn, develop social skills, and grow in a safe, energetic educational environment. Curriculum at this level should be flexible, and children between the age of 1.5 to 2.5 years. The programs are specifically designed to meet the needs of children who come to school for the first time. The children enrolled are taught songs, dance, alphabets, numbers, shapes, circles, art, and craft. There is also facility for activities in a fun-filled environment to stimulate the child's development in a variety of skill areas like language, social, emotional, physical, and thinking skills. Play activities strengthen the will of a child to come to school. Next is Anganwadi. Anganwadi means courtyard shelters. It is a government sponsored child care and mother care centers functioning in India and caters to child of age up to 6 years. All the Anganwadi teachers who are trained in various aspects of health, nutrition, and child development make regular health checkup, give immunization, conduct health education, and non-formal preschool education classes. Next is nursery schools. Nursery school admit children between the age of 2 and 3.5 years. The program includes teaching to develop skills like pre-reading, pre-writing, pre-arithmetics, science, and social skills. The nursery activities arouse the preschoolers' curiosity and interest in music, art plays, and social interaction. And social interactions help these children to explore creativity. It means at this level, the main emphasis on the different type of activities. Next is kindergarten. Preschoolers learn to play and interact with the teachers and other children and thus develop numerous skills for life. Sometimes the nursery section catering the to child of 2 years are also attached to the kindergarten. Next is Montessori schools. The Montessori schools are founded by Dr. Maria Montessori. In such types of school, the children learn at their own level and pace. Children are encouraged to be independent and engage in tasks that relate to real life situations. It means the main emphasis as such type of schools on learns through sense experiences. A spirit of respect for the child and his personality is instilled and opportunities are provided to him to pursue his learning through interesting and challenging activities. This type of a school is available in all areas and caters to the needs of all the students. Now, the meaning of values. Values are basic and fundamental beliefs that guide or motivate attitudes or actions. They help us to determine what is important for us and what is good and what is bad for us. So, through the teaching, and it is the basis of our sense of right and wrong, good or bad. Through the teaching and by observing elders, values are accumulated since early childhood. Based on these core values assimilated, the individual makes his choices, decisions, and behavior. The value system is something that is developed through personal experiences in the society and not just the core values assimilated. The value system includes values related to health, religion, cultural awareness, creativity, independence, and so on. So, we can say that the values cannot be taught, it can be inculcated. Now, national values. Our national values involves a concern for the welfare of all the citizens. They are against selfishness, corruptions, and hatred. Some examples of national values are non-violence, truthfulness, and non-stealing. Our value system prohibits actions that would be harmful to one and the others alike. It goes against the very root of selfishness. If everyone follows the value system, then the society will virtually be a heaven on earth. National values are divided into two parts. The first is traditional values, and the second is constitutional values. Now, traditional values. These values are a part of our tradition. These values are of our ancient times and have been passed on from one generation to the next generation. It includes respect of for elders, family unity, honesty, self-realization, and spirituality. So we can say that respect for elders, family unity, honesty, self-realization, and spirituality are the traditional values. Next is constitutional values. The constitutional values are the basic values that must be followed by the society. These values are mentioned in the constitution of our country. It includes values such as socialization, secularism, democracy, justice, equality, and liberty. So, these are the constitutional values. Our constitution, our constitution seeks to establish the shared aspirations of the nations, the values which bind its people and which disciplines its national institutions. The Constitution should be a bright and shining vision of a society based on equity, justice, and freedom for all. India is a free government directly elected by its people and at the same time free from foreign control. In India, social equality is practical with no discrimination on the ground of caste, color, creed, or religion. India is a secular country and every citizen has the right to participate any religion he chooses. The we have to lay special stress on the teaching of values, which refers to the conduct of child towards man in various situations. It is essential that the values should be inculcated from early childhood onwards, for it has great influence in life afterwards. The following meanings of the core values are appropriate for preschool students. The first is tell the truth. Second is help to others. Third is give equal chance, equality. Take turns and be fair to others. Next is work and play. Third is abide by the rules. Next is regional values. The citizens of a country live peacefully with each other by upholding national as well as regional values. These values teach people to be supportive, helpful, and respectful to everyone around them. The people work to provide quality services to the people living in that region. The working environment is positive, healthy, caring, and free from discrimination. They practice teamwork, cooperation, and collaboration with a vision of bringing progress to the region. Now, importance of value education. Preschool helps to develop various values in children. These values are important elements that help a child to grow into better human beings. So we can say that at this level, at pre-primary school level, the value plays an important role. Some important values to be taught to preschool children are honesty, respect, manners and discipline, sharing, responsibility, and self control. So, these values are very important for a good citizenship. First is honesty. Young children are very honest and truthful, but as they grow, they are influenced by other kids, parents, and fears. Preschool teachers should make them understand the significance of being honest, a value which will lead to success in life and lies to overcome wrong deeds will surely be failures in life. Second is respect. Respect is something children greatly learn from adults. If elders show respect to other members of the family and society, it will positively influence the child. It is important to respect the child so that in future he learns to respect his subordinates and other people who are not his equal. Next is manners and discipline. Good manners and politeness will raise the personality of a man. Simple expressions like thank you, sorry, excuse me will all give a positive stroke in life. This discipline helps an individual to build good character and emerge victories in life. Stress the significance of manner and discipline with suitable examples. Sharing. Today's families are nuclear families with a single child or two child children. Working parents who don't have time for their children try to compensate it in terms of material things. Parents provide all the materials the child requires, and there is no chance to sharing. The child becomes self-centered, which causes difficulties like adjustment problem in later life. Hence, allow children to share his thoughts with others on certain occasions and thus enable children to experience the joy of giving and sharing. So, sharing is very important. Next is taking responsibility for one's actions. This is one important values of life which helps children grow into responsible adults. Make children take responsibility for their deeds, whether good or bad. Taking the ownership of his mistakes will help him understand that he alone is responsible for his acts and hence is entitled to punishment. Imbibing this value during preschool will stop them blaming others for his mistake during his lifetime. Next is self-control. Even though there is a broad variety of perspectives on moral psychology, they generally agree that effective and mature moral agents must have some capacity to control their own behavior. So, self control is very important. Next is self esteem. Self esteem is the way you feel about yourself. High self esteem will lead to social happiness and good mental health. Self esteem at preschool level lays the foundation to this well being and this success in adult life. Next is promoting moral development. Moral development begins in the early childhood years where the child slowly understands what is expected to him by the elders. He develops a concept of being good child before others. He will try to choose the right course of action. Now, factors affecting development of values. So, some factors that affecting the development of values are: first is cognitive development. Since learning values is a cognitive development plays a vital role in value development. The child should understand the what and why of his action so that he could choose the right path in his course of action. So, so the first factor affecting development of values is cognitive development, and the second factor is interactions with peers. A child's contact with his friends are important aspect of values development. He learns values for cooperation, caring, tolerance, patience, team spirit, Hence, interaction with peers has a significant role in value development. Teachers and parents should realize their duty to guide children in this regard. So, the children must have good friends. Third is parent child relationship. In a family where there is a love, caring, and mutual acceptance, developing these values in the growing child is possible. Since values are caught and not taught, such an atmosphere will instill respect for life and love. Parents must provide proper care and attention to child for good citizenship. Next is inculcating values among preschoolers. First is respect. It means treating other with consideration and regard, especially elders. And we can say that we should respect our elders. Second is responsibility. It is to be accountable for one's actions. To be responsible is carrying out one's duties. Next is tolerance and inclusion. Tolerance is the ability to consider the other with all his strengths and limitations, and inclusion calls for acceptance of the other as he is and enables the other to enjoy the right of citizen of the country. Tolerance brings harmony in the society. Next is empathy. Helping children to develop empathy, encourage role playing, help children understand how other people feel. Next is sharing, helping children learns to generous and able to share, help children learns to share equipment. Kindness, kindness helps children that being kind to others make one feel good. Helping is one way of expressing kindness. Teach children that everyone has right and that rules apply to everyone. Cooperation emphasizes the values of cooperation and compromise. Present a model of cooperation and helping behavior. Teach the art of compromise. Friendship help children discover the pleasure of friendship through group activities and group play. All these values enhance social well-being of a child. These ethics help them to live a good life. Now, democratic values. Education for a democracy demands that the individual be recognized as a person with rights and duties. It can be inculcated through the meaningful intervention of the teachers and parents by valuing children's individuality, their different perspectives and opinions, and nurturing independent critical thinking. Teachers may investigate and ask questions that have many possible answers and encourage children to think and provide the needed time and the resources for the same. Next is benefit of democratic participatory approaches in early childhood. Children can acquire the ability to trust themselves to make meaningful decisions and learn to trust others. They can assume responsibility for their own action and acknowledge their own values by learning that opinions count. They can build skill, competence, and independence. Now, promoting democratic values. It is the responsibility of teachers to promote democratic values in students. Since our country is a democratic country, some ways to promote democratic values are: the first is children teach children to respect uniqueness and appreciate diversity. The next is assist children in assuming responsibility for the classroom environment. Next is respect children's right to decide how they want to spend their time and with whom. Next is encourage children to try to do things independently, even if they may have difficulty. And the last is teach children that others also have rights. So, the knowledge of democratic values strengthen the decision making power of children and their prudential thinking too. Now, constructivist alternatives to discipline. Constructivist alternatives to discipline. By creating constructivist atmosphere in preschool education, discipline children becomes easy and learning becomes enjoyable for the preschool children. Teachers and educationists can adopt the following techniques for this. First, organizing the curriculum to meet children's need in the areas. It means the curriculum should be flexible and according to the interest of the students. Emotional needs by conducting camps, art and sports competitions, introducing group activities. So, emotional values can be developed through different conducting different types of camps, art and sports competitions, introducing group activities, intellectual needs by encouraging questioning nature, conducting quiz, competitions, storytelling. Teachers should avoid punishment, encourage children's ownership of logical consequences, verbalize the cause effect relation when natural consequences occur. Next is selectively allow natural consequences to occur. Next is offer opportunities for restitution. Next is avoid indefinite consequences. Next is supportive conditions, a commitment to and support of democratic participation, perceive the child as a competent citizen. Curriculum. So we can say that curriculum should be designed in such a way that it makes the student engaged in the process of learning. Instead of punishing students, we should help them to correct their mistakes. So next is preschool pedagogy. Now, preschool pedagogy. The word pedagogy is derived from the Greek word paidios and ago, which literally means to lead the children. It is the study of being a teacher or the process of teaching. The term refers to instruction or strategies of instructions. Preschool pedagogy deals with the study of teaching methods, including the aims of education and the ways in which such goals may be achieved. As we know, at this stage, the main emphasis on the different type of activities. It involves, it involves all methods and steps to be good teacher. The methods of this at this level should be child centered. Child centered means the education according to the child needs and interest. So the main emphasis on this level on the child centered education. Here we discuss some pedagogical approaches. The first is child centered approach. Child centered approach. In this approach, subjects are chosen and taught keeping in view the social, emotional, and intellectual needs of the children as well as their capabilities and developmental status. Here, the children construct their knowledge from their experience and interaction with the world around them. Preschool education is largely child centered education where play is the main focus. Thus, plenty of opportunities to explore, manipulate, and interact with the child's environment is made available. The children therefore achieve much new knowledge by attracting with concrete materials. The second is activity centered approach. In this approach, subject matter is translated in terms of activities and knowledge is gained as an outcome and product of these activities. It means in this approach, the main emphasis on different types of activities used as the medium for imparting knowledge, attitude, as well as skills. It makes learning more interesting and effective for the students. It involves experimental learning by different type of activities. Hands-on activities help the pre-scholars to understand and gain mastery of the environment. As we know, Piaget ideals that children should actively participate and not passive learners, but be little scientists who are actively engaged. So, the activity centered approach enhance the students' creativity through different type of activities. Next is integrated approach. Children at the preschool stage are at a developmental level where the learning is meaningful only if the content is presented in a holistic manner. Their observation and understanding of the things and happenings around are based on the totality of the situations. In 11th five-year plan on preschool education advocates an integrated approaches to program planning and delivery of early childhood education that incorporates effective structures for coordination, convergence, and accountability between states, ministries, and departments. Next is constructivist approach. Constructivist approach, which had been discussed, the constructive approach divided into two parts. First is cognitive constructivism. The cognitive constructivism, children construct their knowledge of the world and as a result their level of cognitive functioning improves. Constructive knowledge involves the process of self-direction and self-regulation. These processes play a major role in the assimilation of new information and experiences and accommodation to form new mental scheme. As a result, children continuously structure and reconstruct experiences in relation to existing scheme of thought. The second is social constructivism. The social development through the social development theory of Vygotsky stress that social interaction plays an important role in the cognitive development of an individual. Now, the characteristics of constructivism in education are: it emphasizes learning rather than instruction. Second, learning is considered as process. Third is more importance is given to how to learn rather than what to learn. It encourages the spirit of inquiry. Next is it accepts the role of exploration and experiences in learning. Next is it encourages learning through life situations. It emphasizes the role of teachers as a facilitators. So these are the characteristics of constructivism in education. Next is thematic approach. Thematic approach is a way of teaching and learning. Many areas of the curriculum are connected together and integrated with a theme. Different themes related to the immediate environment of the child are related. For example, trees, animals, birds, flowers. Various activities are developed around these themes. Each theme is used for a week. During that week, children are involved in various activities related to that particular theme. All basic concepts like size, shapes, colors, numbers, space, positions can be brought out using the theme. It also helps to form concepts in relation to self and the environment. This approach provides planned opportunity for joyful and meaningful learning and prepares the child for entering the primary school. Themes selected should be from the child's immediate surroundings and according to the comprehension level of children of the age group 3 to 6 years. Next is holistic approach. It is based on the fact that growth and the development of the child under 6 years is a continuous process and that the child care and support rendered by the parents and the teachers should not be an isolated but a unified activity. This helps in the holistic development of the child. So these are the pedagogical approaches. Next, Now the playway method. As we know, the founder of this method is Frobel. The playway method is one of the best way to stimulate the nerve cells in a child's brain, which improves alertness, memory, and the child's interactive skills. Playway method also decreases the tension felt by the child while getting ready to go to school. At school, the different type play activities reduces the anxiety of the child. Play is essentially an activity which a person enjoys by himself or with others. Play is most commonly related to the child activities, which consist of an amusing, pretended, or imaginary activity alone or with another. When children are not given an opportunity to work, they resort to play. So, this method is very important for pre-primary school stage. The child in the preschool is in associative play stage of development. The following play types could be introduced in the preschools. First is toy play. During the early part of the childhood, playing is toys are dominated as they imagine that toys are living. Later, when they can no longer imagine, so play with toys decreases. Their interest is group play increases over the solitary toy play. The second is dramatization. 3 years old children dramatize play with toys in way that intimate life experiences. Later in group play, they play make believe games such as cops and robbers or storekeeper. Third is constructions. Preschoolers make many things with blocks in imitation to what they see around. Later, they introduce creativity into their constructions. Next is games. Children at 4 years begins to play with peers and the games involve few rules. Throwing and catching ball are very common among the games. Next is age specific activities. At the age of 3 years, free play. And what is the objective of free play? One of the objectives of the free play is the development of fine motor and gross motor muscles and the skills. Development of social skill and other objectives to be realized through free play. Free play also helps children to develop self-confidence, happiness, which are essential for proper emotional development. The activities should assist young children to acquire knowledge about size, shape, color, text, texture, etc. Lead to their intellectual development. So, the free play is very important. Play a very important role to develop their intellectual. Next, materials for the activities. Preschools should provide toys and other play equipments and facilities like slides, rocking toys, swings, climbing toys, children while playing freely using the toys, equipments and other facilities could develop the skill needed to realize the objectives set for them by the preschool curriculum. Next is organized play at the age of 3 years. Objectives: the aim of organized play is physical and social development. Activities: teacher should help the children in their games and other physical activities and train them to use their muscles effectively. Teachers should take care to introduce interesting group activities for children which would help their social development. Next is guided activities at the age of 3 years. The main objective: language development, social development, emotional development, and development of environmental knowledge. The activities: in order to realize the objectives of language development, the teacher can converse with the child about home, school, friends, activities of the day, etc. Tell them stories related to nature and real life situations. Encourage children to narrate stories and other interesting incidents related to nature. They can be taken for nature walk and ask them to describe what they have seen and experienced. They should be encouraged to ask questions related to what they have seen. Group activities and group play activities could be introduced to help their social and emotional development. And the next stage at the age of 4 years. Free play. Allow children to play whenever they want and with whatever toy they need. Teachers should provide facility and toys for the child. It means at this stage the main emphasis is also on free play and different activities. The objectives: the aim during this period is social, emotional, and intellectual development. Materials needed: toys, slides, rocking toys, drums, bells, and activities like teacher can introduce activities which bring out the creative and innovative talent in children. There could be activities for development of mathematics concept. Next is organized play at this stage. Objective: physical and motor development of children is the major aim of this play activity. Another important objective is social, emotional, and intellectual development, which also includes language development. So, as at this stage, the objectives of language development included: next, activities. Objectives can be realized by allowing children to indulge in group play, drill and games, are another are other educate activities for social, emotional, and language development, clay modeling, coloring, painting, telling stories, narrating incidents, asking questions, gardening, cleaning, visits to public places are appropriate activities. Next is guided activities at the age of 4 years. The main objectives are physical, emotional, social, and intellectual development, language development is yet another significant objective during this period. Activities for guided freely converse with children. Children should be encouraged to carry out conversation between them and teachers and among themselves. Those play activities which develop imagination and creativity could be introduced. Dialogue with children regarding pictures, visit to zoo, museum, garden, and playing in children's park of museum could be very interesting for the young children. Next stage, at the age of 5 years, guided activities. The main objectives are language development, intellectual development, emotional development, ability for observation, character development, value development, activities. Language development is by storytelling, completing stories, narrating events of the day, playing question games, word hunting games, activities and play should be so introduced as to develop good and healthy habits, and cleanliness should be emphasized at this stage. All the activities should be related to life and the immediate environment of the children. Encourage them to be clean and tidy in dressing, brushing their teeth, comb hair using and kerchief. Children should be asked to clean the rooms, hold their clothes, greet others when they meet them, decorate their homes, and other such activities. So, these are the guided activities at this stage, and objectives are development of scientific attitude and to learn science concepts. In this regard, the activities are collect things and make models, make album of headers, stems or leaves. They should be given opportunity to play in water. They should be provided with objects to do simple experiments. At school, at home, they can be taught to make useful things from throw away articles. This activity enables them to develop their creative talent, engage children in painting, drawing, modeling, etc. Next, at the age of 6 years, language development. In preschool years, children develop awareness about language, They can think of what they are saying. The awareness that words are made of sounds develop in them. It is vital that they are provided with opportunities that will help them to learn skills which will finally lead to reading and writing. It provides opportunities for learning pre-reading and pre-writing skills. What is pre-reading? Pre-reading and pre-writing skills are those which the child needs to learn before he goes on to the reading and writing. Some skills that are required before the child can read and write are: the first is control eye movement, as the activity of reading requires rapid movement of the eyes. Second, see the minute differences in shapes such as E and F, or square and rectangle. Next is associate sounds with shapes, combine sounds, for example CA and CE, as in car and cell. Understand part to whole relationship. Pay attention to a particular task for some time. Understand the concepts right, left, up, and down, as these help to develop reading and writing skills. The language development activities help the preschoolers to control muscles, use symbols, and connect spoken and written words. Through play, child get first-hand experience and provide them with the opportunity to use language. He uses language for a greater variety of purpose as he develops the skill in using a language. Speech is only one form of language. Speech contributes to the child's personal and social adjustment by satisfying their needs and wants. As is true of learning of all skills, speech can be learnt by trial and error, by imitation, or by training. These are some 6 essential elements in learning to speak: physical readiness, mental readiness, a good model to imitate, and opportunities for practice, motivation, and guidance. The best way for language development is to talk to children as the first is sit children in the semicircle, sit on the floor, keep your voice clear and soft, initiate the conversation by asking questions, wait for the response, give each child a chance to speak, listen to the speech of others, praise their efforts. So, these points are very useful for language development. Next is concept development. Some activities for concept development are: match pictures, seeds, leaves according to big, small, long, short, rough, smooth, more, and less, etc. Find the differences in pictures. Arrange objects according to their size, shape. Observe growing plants, moving animals, working people, day and night, clouds and rain. Touch, feel, taste, and smell things. So, these points are very useful for concept development. Concept must be taught to children in a specific sequence, that is from simple to complex. Song, stories, games, free conversations can be used for teaching the concept. Next is creative and aesthetic development. The development of creative and aesthetic activities include cutting, pasting, painting, drawing, folding, clay modeling, singing, rhymes, songs, playing musical instrument. These activities are related to creative and aesthetic development. The procedure used to develop creativity among the preschoolers includes the divide children in small groups. Each group should be given a different activity. Next is give enough material so that each child has something to do. Show children what they have to copy. Next is allow them to express their own imagination or creativity. Next is praise effort of all children. Interchange the activities within group. So the teacher can help the children to develop creative and aesthetic skills by the some carrying out some activities like sing songs in tone, use a simple musical instrument, sing the song slowly and ensure each child re- repeats after you. Sing songs that have plenty of scope for action. Introduce variety by changing tones, beats, and words. So, these activities are very important for aesthetic development or creative development. Next is psychomotor development. Dramatization. Make children dramatize stories, songs, events, birds, animals, etc. Allow them to dress up and act according to their own imagination. Ensure children share the material with each other. So, these activities are very helpful for development of psychomotor. Next is planning the daily timetable. Children grow, develop, and learn through play. The entire program and the environment of preschool should be built around play. So the daily program should be planned in such a way as to achieve the objective, namely the all-round development of the child, means physical, spiritual, emotional. The daily routine should be planned to meet the needs of the children. Select at least one or two activities meant to help in each aspect of child's development. A balanced program will include something for the body, social adjustment, mind, creative expression, senses, emotions, curiosity. For children, the whole program has one major purpose: play and fun. Proper planning should be done for construction of the timetable, and care should be taken to impart individual and group activities. So, the activities are very necessary for timetable and for the students. The activities should be so arranged as to ensure all-round physical development of children. The physical development through running, jumping, skipping. 3 and 4 years old children have to develop control of their large muscles. The teacher should help children to develop an understanding of various roles they have and will have in the society. He should introduce them to quantitative as well as qualitative relationship. So the different type of activities are very important for the all-round development of the students at this level called preschool education. So we can say that the preschool education is very important, and it is this is preparation for primary education. So we can say that from an early age, if the child is made to learn by interesting method, then learning would not be a laborious process. So at this level, teaching should be based on playway method and different types of activities. Okay, thank you. Okay.